I'm just so excited about the course. I love seeing beautiful young folks on the call. So, this is our 7 Secrets to Peace and Prosperity course. And the reason why it's called that is because that's exactly what it is. It's the 7 secrets to peace and prosperity. Although over the 6 weeks, we'll go over probably like 10 or 20 secrets, even though it's called 7 Secrets. That's just my love of alliteration coming out. That's just my nerdiness around like words and languages, and I love alliteration. So welcome. And we're going to start every course or every session of the class with movement and meditation. Why? Because those are 2 huge secrets to peace and prosperity, and it opens up the physical body, the mental body, and the like spirit for the new like ideas and information, or it opens up the heart to, so we get our analytical mind a little bit more out of the way. So let's start with a little bit of movement. This song that we're going to play is made to be like fun, relaxing, and it's only 4 minutes. So if you're sitting there, I would recommend just sitting right where you are, and you'll be surprised how much movement you can get and how much physical changes you'll go through in 4 minutes and 20 seconds, just sitting here moving just a little bit. So let's start with a meditation, just breathing in all the way and breathing out all the way. Let the eyes close. Let the spine be straight and long. I like to put my hands together right underneath the belly button for the inhale. And on the exhale, release by bringing the hands back down. Inhale all the way in. And exhale, release. Feel the body start to relax even more. Allow the breath to make noise, to make sounds. Empty all the air out of the lungs on the exhale, and then fresh new oxygen on the inhale. Good. Coming into a short stillness, only 30 seconds. Breathing all the way in and all the way out. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. Excellent work. Now we can start our movement practice sitting right where we are or feeling free to get up, stand up, whatever we need to do. We're starting our movement practice with this song. This is Bertay, John, my beloved. 90%.
find? Have they no life of their own? So can we pretend sweetly before the mystery ends? I am a memory that offends with the slowly bleeding mess. There's only a shadow of me in a line of smoking mountains.
Rising up.
Such a waste, your beautiful face. Stumbling hard, made a right.
Let the reach be long, and then all
Follow
the way around.
you ain't found a friend.
Get the knees involved.
It is fall to the sun. History speaks of two baby teeth. I'm painting the hills with rain.
Relax.
They said beware, and I feel my breath. You've wasted my bruise on your head. So can we be friends sweetly before the mystery ends? I love you more than words can contain.
Shake up every cell inside.
There's only a shadow of me in a line of speaking minded.
Light, peace. Good. Scales. Any movement you want to do is the right movement. Movements that feel
Holding my breath, it's so long
way.
chest. What can be said of my heart?
Good. Slow motion.
History speaks, kiss on my cheek. Where remains but a mark.
Again, if you're sitting down, you can still do this.
Loving my dawn, so I'll carry on. Counting my cards down to one.
Sitting down, just the upper
When I
body.
am dead, come visit my bed. Fossil is right in the sun.
Very
So can we pretend peacefully rise to the end? Jesus, I need you.
Very young.
Come shield me from the storms that fall on my head. It's only a shadow of me in a line of speaking
Lifting up power pose. Excellent. Beautiful work. Notice the opening of the heart. Notice the calmness and the spirit. And we are going to dive right into our principles that we're going over for our first class today. So I'm going to share my screen so we can see the slides, and we'll start just right from there. So 7 secrets to peace and prosperity. We want to start right where we are. So our first slide is it is the first in 4 principles that we're going to explore today, with the first most important secret to peace, and that is to end inner conflict forever. So when we are at peace within ourselves, that is the first step. When we are not at peace with ourselves, that is going to interrupt anything and everything that we are trying to get accomplished in life. So, I want to start with the story of how, when we're born, we are absolutely genius. They've done numerous studies to show us that we're learning on a genius level. We're picking up new information. We're fearlessly exploring and examining our world just from age, at the time we're born, all the way to age 5, literally learning at the genius level. And that's everyone, that's 99% of people. The only thing that starts to de-genius us as we grow is repeated self-criticism. So that self-criticism gets stored and stored inside the conscious and subconscious, and it begins a relationship of rejection of ourselves. It begins a relationship of literally de-geniusing us. We're not learning at the same rate as we were when we were born. So by the time the average person reaches 20 years old, only 2% out of the 99% is still learning at the genius level. And the number one thing, there's many factors, there's society, but the number one thing that de-geniuses us is repeated self-criticism. So the first step in peace and prosperity is to end inner conflict forever. You might say to yourself, oh, I don't have any conflict in the inside of myself. Well, that's good. And that's a wonderful, beautiful, and great attitude to have. But at the same time, we might be subconsciously rejecting ourselves or in conflict with ourselves just by saying little things like, oh, I'll use myself as an example. Oh, Khalilah, you always do this. You can't do that. And why do you always have to blah, blah, blah? All of that kind of inner dialogue costs us our energy, it costs us our ingenuity. And since it doesn't help us on the road to peace and prosperity, we really don't need it. We really don't need to indulge in that. It's a mental habit that, like any other, we can train out of ourselves. So there's 4 A's. I call them the 4 A's that we're going to go over. And I've listed them all on the slides. The first one is to acknowledge ourselves. The 4 A's to inner conflict starts with acknowledgement. So giving credit where credit is due. Acknowledge yourself for your steady progress, decisiveness, tenacity, and all the things that you do on a daily basis to make your life successful. And you know it's a lot. Only you know how much you're really doing. And every single thing that we do to take care of ourselves and those around us deserves our acknowledgement. It's easy to overlook your accomplishments by telling yourself, oh, that's my responsibility. Oh, I have to do that. Oh, every mother does that. Oh, anyone would do that. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Not everyone would make the choice to take care of themselves, be there for others, constantly improve like you're doing by taking this course. So the first step is to acknowledge everything we are and everything we do to make our lives successful. So acknowledgement is the first step. The second step is our acceptance of ourselves. So acceptance of who we are, where we are, where we've been, everything in our circumstances, present day, and accepting that within ourselves instead of saying, oh, I wish I never did this, or instead of saying, oh, I feel guilty because I did that, oh, I broke my diet, or whatever. Even if we don't consciously have these attitudes, we can subconsciously reject ourselves on many different levels, not approving of our looks, not liking that we never did such and such. And since we're still alive, we can always change the future, but that starts with accepting ourselves now. So for acceptance, I've written, you are unique in all the world, the media, society, and circumstances may make you feel insignificant, yet this perception is false. Why would I say that? Oh, you're only one person after all. So why would I say that being insignificant, feeling insignificant is a false perception? It's because you are unique in all the world. Think of all the people everywhere. Not one of them can be you the way that you are you. Not one of them can contribute the specific gifts that you have to give into the world. So accept every aspect of your current experience of yourself. This simple yet deep self acceptance opens the door to greater creativity, expression, ideas, and connection. And when we're expressing from the heart, when we're allowing ourselves to be creative, we will achieve those deeper levels of inner peace. Accept every aspect of your current experience of yourself. That is a strange statement on the surface, but if we look a little closer, we can go back in our minds and realize that the person we were 7 years ago, 10 years ago, that person is all gone. To accept the current experience of myself, that means all of my traits, all my pains and aches, all my habits, is to accept where I am right now within myself. And just that small thing will wipe the mind clean of, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. Should isn't something we need to consider when we are thinking about being on the road to peace and prosperity. We can look within ourselves and establish our own priorities as a sovereign being instead of always being on a thing like, I should be doing this and I shouldn't be doing that. Self acceptance. So the second A in the 4 A's is acceptance, acknowledgement, and then acceptance. Our next one is appreciate. Appreciate means to recognize the full worth of. It's a formal definition of the word, but it hints at the inner meaning, the hidden meaning of the word, and that is love. When I talk about self love, I feel like I get a lot of feedback where people either are totally uncomfortable with this concept or they're totally unfamiliar with what it really feels like to love oneself. So I wrapped it up in this beautiful present of appreciation. Because appreciation is something that we can all kind of relate to. We appreciate our health, we appreciate our food, but when you really appreciate something, you're loving that thing. When we appreciate something, we're giving it loving attention. And that's what we need from ourselves to thrive. We apply loving thoughts to it. We experience happiness and gratitude when we dwell on it. Love for ourselves is the key that unlocks the door to the highest levels of joy and fulfillment in life. So I've been hearing a lot of songs on the radio lately, pop songs. So, the people are young, but these pop songs have an ongoing theme, a widespread, pervasive, ongoing theme, and that is, what does love feel like? So I thought that was a pretty interesting question for young people to be asking. What is love, and what does love feel like? Love is a deep, abiding, cherishing appreciation that we are going to apply to ourselves. So, one of the exercises that I recommend in the book Glowing Magic Beauty, and that we're going to do right now, is to practice feeling love inside. And I took a cue from the radio of like, okay, a lot of people, I could say love, I could talk about love, but if you don't know what love is really supposed to feel like for yourself, it's very hard to connect with that spirit. So, step by step, let's break it down. Love can start as just a little seed. That little seed is like the sun. Imagine in your mind's eye the sun, a bright star, something that we're all familiar with is this idea of the sun. We've seen it in the sky. Generations of humans have been led by this one star. Take that idea of the sun and put it right down here in your heart so that your heart is this shining, warm, glowing, growing light inside of you. So, taking a few breaths just to connect with that, just to practice seeing that in our mind's eye, practice feeling that warmth, that glow, that light. And it's not just a visualization, it is a representation of what we really are. A human being is light energy. Everything in the universe is light energy. So we are well within our rights to see ourselves that way. We are light energy, just like the sun. So to find that shining heart, dwell on that feeling of warmth, love, acceptance, resting in that, making it easeful, peaceful, emotional. It's a feeling connection of everything and to everything that we are. So, talking about loving ourselves is one thing. Practicing loving ourselves from our true identity that is light energy is something else. It's something we can practice every day. It's something we can feel emotionally. And when we feel emotionally, that is the point of transformation. Telling yourself something good is good. Feeling something good inside of ourselves, a feeling that we created, is what transforms life into from ho hum to harmony. So, anytime we want, we can come back to that exercise of the shining heart, dwelling there, breathing there, feeling there, being there, seeing it, and knowing that that light is what we really are. The other exercise that I love to do in my classes is to self hug. So if you have children, if you have friends, if you have relatives, we hug them, and in those hugs, we really translate a feeling of connection and love. When we hug, we actually will flood our brains with these feel good chemicals of oxytocin, serotonin, and it brings our level of existence up. It brings our emotions up. It brings our feelings of well being up. And we can do that for ourselves when no one is around. So, opening up the arms, taking a nice big breath, wrap the arms all the way around us, and really get into the hug by rocking side to side, just as we would comfort a child or even a pet that wasn't feeling good or that needed affection. Give that affection to ourselves. Breathing in a beautiful light and breathing out any tension, stress, upset from the day, and really allowing that feeling of love, appreciation, joy, and fulfillment for ourselves and within ourselves to shine through. If we're bathing in that emotion, even for 5 minutes a day, it will change our thoughts, it changes ourselves, it changes how we react to other people and life in general. And it changes it for the better. So, this simple exercise, loving and appreciating ourselves, we can even affirm, I love and approve of myself. So, speaking of loving approval of ourselves, speaking of that affirmation, that brings us on to the last of the 4 A's, and that is approval, approving of ourselves. So, approve of our present circumstances, approve of our past circumstances, approve of all the so called mistakes that we've made, approve of our daily habits. When we give ourselves approval, we are set absolutely free from needing the approval of other people outside of ourselves. No approval that we get from the outside world will ever be enough if we do not take the time, take the energy to give approval to ourselves. The freedom that self-approval brings is priceless. So, thinking about what it means to really approve of ourselves. Life calls for us to make many, many compromises at times, but we want to get to a place where all the things that we say, think, and do are approved by us. Each human being is a sovereign entity unto themselves, and looking for outside approval, which is important and we do need, but we won't be fulfilled by it unless we have our inner approval. So, to get there, we have to plant the seed of approval inside of ourselves. It's a daily practice. And one of the affirmations that I use is, I love and approve of myself. Say that with the same emotion that we have in the heart of light. Say that with the same love, with the same passion, with the same emotion, energy in motion. And we call it this emotional energy because it changes the inside of the body. It allows us to integrate new habits, and it allows a shift in our perspective to be very easy. We're open to it when we have our own approval. So, those are the 4 pillars of ending inner conflict forever. And ending inner conflict forever with these practices is the first of the 7 secrets that we will be working on and practicing in our course. So I will be sending out the slides, a recording of today's presentation, and the homework that ask the questions about how are we approving ourselves? How are we affirming ourselves? How are we acknowledging ourselves? How have we not been doing that? And what has it really cost us? So I'm really looking forward to hearing feedback about our experience of whatever we are doing, how we're treating ourselves, what patterns we have within our relationship with ourselves that causes us to go up or causes us to decline over time. Lack of self-love, lack of self-approval is naturally going to lead to decline over time. So to avoid all of that and to get and stay on the path of peace and prosperity, it starts inside of us. It starts within us, and it starts with our perception of ourselves. It doesn't matter how we perceived ourselves in the past. It doesn't matter what the world and other people have told us about ourselves. All that matters is that we have a healthy idea, a healthy self-image, and that we're willing to feed that every single day. That's all we need to do to be successful, is to start now. So we'll end our practice with another song and breathing, moving, going inside, and feeling our affirmations. 2 suggestions that I'm going to recommend on this. We can simply say the words as we move. I approve of myself. I acknowledge myself. I love and appreciate myself. I accept myself. Even if we just said the words acceptance, acknowledgement, appreciation, love, even if we just said the words as we move, it allows the vibration of the meaning of those words to become emotion, energy in motion inside of us. So we can make a little mental rhyme from out of these songs, out of the words. We can make a little song out of it, or we can just simply feel it and know it as we move. So I'm going to give us one more song and just feel into the words, feel into the body. Movement and music is a magical way to help integrate these new ideas. And that's what we're going to practice. It'll be a part of our practice every week throughout the course. There are many physical, mental, and emotional exercises that we will do, but movement is always going to be one of them because it is so transformative and it helps to grow the seed that is already planted inside of us with our affirmations and with our awareness of the importance of our relationships with ourselves. So, this next song is Florence and the Machine. We're not going to do the whole entire song, but we'll do most of it with our movement. This is Florence and the Machine. The song is called Grace, and we'll listen in. Slow motion movement, side to side, up to down.
I'm sorry I ruined your birthday. Guess I could go back to university.
Breathing,
Trying to make my mother proud.
acceptance,
Stop this phase I'm in. She deems dangerous.
approval, love,
Spelling is a problem,
appreciation,
as is the discipline. I don't think it would be too long before I was drunk in Camberwell again. But this is the only thing I've ever had any faith in.
making
I know you carry on. And it was such a mess. I don't say it enough. You are
and
so
joy of being alive, of being ourselves, of being us right now. Let yourself fly.
Turned 18. And the sunshine hit me and I
Breathing
was
more and more breath.
all the walls were melting and there were mermaids everywhere. Hearts flew from my hands and I could see people's feelings. This is the only thing I've ever had any faith in. Grace. I know you carry us. Grace. And it was such a mess. I don't say it enough. You are so
Acceptance, acknowledgement, love.
You are the one.
That is the conclusion of our lesson for today. We have the same amount of time, the same time frame every week. And I would love to request that you delve right into your homework this week. This concludes lesson 1, week 1 of 7 Secrets to Peace and Prosperity. Reach out with any questions, and looking so very much forward to seeing you next week in the course. Have a wonderful day. Bye.